So, based on some feedback, people are looking for some information on how to deal with stress and anxiety. Big surprise. Everybody's got to deal with stress and anxiety in their life to some degree. So, first off, I'm not a medical professional, and this is the disclaimer that if things are not good for you, please check out, your healthcare professional, your doctor, or something like that. What I'm going to offer you is based on education from the stuff that I've learned through learning about pain science and positive psychology and even hypnosis. So, the basic way that I look at this stuff is that stress is something that causes you to adapt. If you're going to have to do something that's difficult for you, it's going to require effort. That's a stress. You got a whole bunch of stuff. You got to move on the weekend. That's going to be stressful probably because you've got to pack stuff and move boxes. And just thinking about it can make you feel stressed out. And then things like anxieties are worries about something that may or may not even happen. The example we had was if there was a dog that growled at you and maybe even tried to bite you or injured you, a couple blocks down the street one time. If you're worried about that, day after day or anytime you come near there, that's an anxiety. It's not fear. Fear is like if you're faced with the dog, and there's an aggressive thing going on, you've got to address it. So these are just a couple of things to differentiate stress, anxiety, and fear, and worry. So to me, anxiety is worry. Again, not a medical definition here, but a way of looking at things to be clear. So all of these things, as far as my understanding of neuroscience goes, is something that we've developed through generations and generations of staying alive and continuing to breed and create the person that you are now. What we've inherited is this focusing on danger. Anything that's a potential danger or difficulty should be important to us, and we can focus in on it. And as we do, other things like the nice sunshine or that good relationship you have with somebody or the music that's playing in the background, any of these positive things tend to be focused out of your awareness because you have very likely been focusing on a difficult thing. And there's also something called sensitization that happens with pain and with whether it's mental or physical, and where we give something more attention and it seems more important, it can get more intense. And so my perspective on this, from what I've been taught, is that if you have a stress, for example, you gotta move. We'll use that example. You're gonna have to move on the weekend, like coming to terms with it and realizing, okay, well, that's something I'm gonna have to do. But hey, these other things are still good. I'm gonna get to go to this other place, and allowing yourself to purposefully take in other bits of information that are not this particular danger or this stress that you are focusing on will broaden and build your experience. This comes from Barbara Fredrickson's work, the broaden and build theory in positive psychology. But just as far as the neuroscience goes, taking a wider view, even looking wider, is going to have an effect on what goes on in your brain rather than focusing in on something small. These are simple ways, if you understand them, to begin to break free and change your state of mind. Same thing goes with an anxiety or something. If you're worried about something, you seeing a broader picture can be helpful. We can acknowledge the difficulty or the worry, but we can also look to see a broader picture. And it can be really helpful to change your state of mind, which can include changing the way your body sits. One of my favorite ones to show how this works is to just throw your hands above your head like this, and all of a sudden you start thinking like, wow, why do I feel good? Because you're associating this physical anchor of like celebrating, and you brain starts to think, wow, things are pretty good. Or if you stand up and walk around, or do something dramatically different, shake your body around, you can break your state, put your mind to something else. Another common thing to do is to recognize that your conscious mind, that is the things that you're thinking about, you can only keep, I don't know, 5 or 10 things in there at once. So if you replace it with something else, you can break your state of mind that way. This negative perseverating maybe on a fear or a worry or stress or something like that. That's why people tell you, well, look around the room and name 5 things that are yellow. You replace what's in your head with these other things. You get 7 plus or minus 2 things that you can keep in your conscious awareness, and you can break that state. And the trick is to just not go right back to it, to recognize, okay, there's something I've got to do about that. I'll just keep my eyes open when I walk past that area and that dog's probably not there, or I'll walk on the other side of the street. I can let it go, and then make a point of letting go of this thing. This is all in a nutshell, and I'm happy to work with people one-on-one in depth on something else if this kind of stuff seems to resonate for you. I just really want all my friends to do well, and I hope you found some of this useful, this little rambling of ways that I look at stress and anxiety. Thanks for hanging around.